What up, guys? So we are working on the GMC. I've already got the 442 all wrapped up, ready to paint, but I'm gonna do that not today. So I swung the GMC around, put her up on the lift, and so let me tell you about this bumper. So this front bumper is off Cadillac, and you all seen that I've made it to fit this truck. I love this bumper, and I don't really care for this bumper, right? So I love the bumper because it's really cool. It's off Cadillac. I like the Dagmars, but I don't like the bumper because it's real heavy and it sticks out pretty far, right? So what I have is I've got a stock. Let me show you right there. I have a stock front bumper off from the smaller trucks, like the 3100s or the 150s. Anyway, not the big truck, because the big bumper that came off this is even heavier than that and a lot bigger than that. So either way, if I get this to work and I like it, awesome. If I put this up there and I don't like it, this needs to come off anyway to get painted. So either way, I'm taking that one off right now. So I'm going to sit here, I'm going to take it off. I think I have to run and go get a couple bolts for this square, because he's got square holes. So I got to probably go get a couple bolts for that. And then I got the stock brackets. I just probably will have to make something that comes down that the stock brackets can go to, and then I can move it in and out. And I want to tuck it real close. I think it'll give the front end a little bit better look than this, just because this sticks out so far. I mean, yeah, it probably sticks out like 20 inches. It's a little bit too much out there. So let me do this real quick, and then we will kind of fudge our way through this one. Let's do this. So we got it off, and it is heavy. So I went down and picked up some 1/2-inch carriage bolts. That's what the size of the holes are for the bumper brackets. So I'm going to put the bumper brackets on the bumper, and then we're going to kind of set it up there, see how it goes. I definitely have to make brackets for the bumper brackets to attach to, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So I got a setting on here with a block of wood, and then I'm centering this, the bumper, to the center here. So I'm already hitting the sway bar with the brackets. So I think what I'm going to do is weld the tops of the brackets together, here and here. I got these brackets from Simon over in Washington State. He deals with a lot of the older trucks and parts and stuff like that. And for shipping purposes, he popped the rivet that keeps them together. So he could ship them individually, you know, like not all together, because they're pretty cumbersome. So I'm going to clean the tops and the bottoms, and then run a bead right here, a weld, to keep these together. And then I can kind of shorten the brackets so they'll fit up there, because right now I hit the sway bar with those brackets that stick out. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll be right back. So this side I had 1/4 inch of a gap I had to make up. Even though I got them bolted together and I had the clamp, I think this one's a little bent maybe, but we got both sides welded. So now I can take the bolts off. Well, actually, after this cools down, I'll take the bolts off and then we'll set it back up there. Alright guys, so what I did was I welded 2 brackets on the bottom of the plate, the same plate that that bumper was attached to. So now I can adjust it tightly. So there's the plate, and then there's a bolt in the back that's holding it for like a pivot point. And then once I get this straight across, then I'll put in another bolt. I'll have to drill the hole, but I'll put in another bolt, and then that will make it so this is bolt on and off, right? I mean, really, you can take this off by undoing these bolts. So maybe I'll weld them straight on there, and then just remove them from this way, because I'm gonna go with this bumper done. So now I'm just getting the height. I will have to build an apron that goes in here. It will attach to the skid plate here, and then separate it from here, and then I'll make brackets that'll bolt in the same place as these. Alright, so I'm going to finish welding my brackets. I'm going to tighten the bolts, weld them all up, and then we'll be right back. Okay guys, I think now I can raise the truck, move that out of the way, and the bumper should stay. So I've had this bumper, I don't know, about a year now, with the brackets that I've been wanting to get to. But you know, with other projects and with the 442, I got going on. I never really got to do it. So now that that's about ready for paint, I decided to go ahead and give the GMC a little bit of love. So yeah, I like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it down, fire it up just because. So it's a little bit getting used to that big hunker sticking out there, but I think that's going to be good. Once I get the plate or the filler panel right there, it'll be brand new. All right, let me fire this up. Not bad. So I'm just going to let it cycle through a heat cycle. You're supposed to start these up, especially with the O2 sensor, so it burns off any kind of like moisture off it. So I'm just going to let it sit here and run for a minute. But yeah, I like that a lot. Well, that's going to wrap up on the truck. I'm not going to pull it outside to give you like an overview of how it looks outside to the ground, because there's some more things I want to do with this. We're going to be doing, we're going to check timing again. Actually, the gentleman that owns the 442 is going to come over with his timing light, and we're going to retime it, make sure everything's right. There's rain. So the thing with the sniper is what I'm finding out is that I have to cycle it twice in order for it to just start right up on a cold start. So I have to turn the key on to the on position, and then it pumps up to it. You probably heard it. It makes a little whining noise, and then it stops, and then I turn it off, and then I count to 5, and then I turn it on again to the on position, and then it does it again, shoots up another shot, and then fires right up. Whereas before I would do it and it wouldn't quite start. It was like it wasn't getting enough fuel on the startup. But now with doing it that way, actually the gentleman that owns the 442 was telling me about that, like, hey, you should try this. I hear sometimes they do this. And I was like, oh, okay. And I tried it and it works perfectly for it. So, but I'm glad I got that bumper on finally. It's kind of been like on the back burner, like, oh man, do I want to swap it over? Do I not want to swap it over? But I'm glad I did swap it over. Again, basically I used pieces. So I used the pieces that I cut off from the length, and then I welded it to the plate underneath that the other bumper was attached to. And then on the back side here is a pivot point. So once I got that welded up on there with the bolt in here, I could, and this was bolted straight, I could move the bumper however I wanted to off the pivot point. Once we got it to where I wanted it, then I tightened up that bolt, and then there's actually the holes here. I could drill another hole and put it through, but what I did is I welded it. I put like a tack, and then tack in the back to hold it in place where it's at right now. So to change the bumper, I don't plan on changing the bumper ever. It's never going to be in the way for anything, right? But you can undo those 2 bolts on each side and the whole front bumper comes right off. In fact, when I finish fully welding those brackets all up in there, I'm going to take off the bumper and I'm actually going to paint it. So I'm going to paint it the same charcoal metallic gray as the back bumper, the wheels, and then the charcoal along the bottom. The other thing that I really want to do actually is, and this was kind of like from the get-go what I want to do, is I wanted to paint the roof from that body line up white. Now that I have the booth kind of going on in here, once I get the 442 painted, and in between of waiting for the clear to gas off and cure up, like a 2-week period, I'm going to be swinging the orange over there, and I'm going to take off the visor, and then I'm going to paint from this belt line up white. So that is going to match the grill, I think, perfectly. So it'll actually be like a 3-tone, right? So it'll be the orange, the white, and then the gunmetal. Anyway, so that's kind of like my what I want to get done with this. I really want to start driving it. I don't drive them. I enjoy building them, but I don't really drive them. But I don't know, this thing is really like, it's asking to be driven. So that's why I'm doing the bumper. I'm going to be doing a couple other things underneath there just to double check, make sure everything is right as rain. And then I think I'm going to start driving it, just to kind of get it out there a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of neat car shows coming up this summer that are pretty close, local, that I would love to just kind of take it for the day and just see how it does. But before I do all that, it has been sitting here since October of last year, because the 442 came in November. So since October, I haven't really done anything with it. Everything on my to-do list, I just kind of pushed it off to the back burner to do the 442. I still have to get a wiper motor for it. I mean, I've got that vacuum one, but might as well just go ahead and get the electric one. So I'm going to get that, put that in. When I did wash it yesterday, it does have a small, teeny tiny leak on the driver's side at the upper part of the door. So it was like the slightest of, it was wet. We'll put it that way. Is this something I'm worried about? No, actually I'm not. Considering everyone knows the struggle that I've had with these doors, and it only leaks a little bit right there. That's cool. Once I get it up at like more highway speeds, and if there's any kind of wind noise or anything, then I may revisit that. So that is in a nutshell of what I want to do with this thing. Because ultimately I'd like to sell it, but all of a sudden I'm thinking I may want to keep it for a little bit. I don't know. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming in and checking out what we're doing with the orange. This video is real short. It was just a bumper, but it was something that's been on my mind for a year. And yeah, go out there and build something cool. Catch you on the next one. Bye.